Good evening. Welcome to Talk Time Tarot with Heather. We're here tonight for another story. So let's get right into it. We'll shuffle the cards and see what we get. We had a good day here where I live. It was sunny but kind of cold. I hope you all are enjoying your weekends. I'm going to pull 4 cards and we'll see what story we can formulate. Bottom of the deck is the Fox and Ivy, and that's adaptability. We may pull that at the end of the story if it's needed. Sometimes you can't leave the story incomplete, and the cards know it'll hook in with one another. Okay, let me see here. Got it. The Marten and the foxglove, he's mischief. So, see how innocent his face looks? That's almost the look that somebody has when they're up to no good. It could be young or older. The foxglove provides shelter to hide in the lies that they're telling, or the behavior that they're doing that no one wants them to see. The Marten is really swift and fast. They're kind of like weasels over here. So yeah, I mean, they move really, really fast. I'm trying to look at the card to see if I see anything else. They kind of have a far off look. So either they're wide range planning to do something, or they're in deep contemplation on what they're going to do and what they have planned. The next one is the Vulture and asphodel. I'm not sure how to say this particular flower. That was never my strong suit in school. Botany or whatever they call it. This is upheaval. To me, this is compared to the Tower card in tarot. It kind of looks ominous, dark colored, ominous, just like the Tower does. It has a black background as well. And I consider the white flowers on this to be the 2 people that get kicked out of the Tower. And it's all coming crashing down. So, he also looks like he's wearing a mask. See how that's different color? So, I'm thinking these 2 dudes are tied in together. We have one scheming, looking innocent, hiding in the foxglove. He can move quickly, and he's either looking off in the distance for something he's going to do, or he's sitting and contemplating what he's doing. And once he gets that, narrative in his head, that's when he acts on it, and the upheaval comes. The Vulture comes in, and they totally wreak havoc on the situation at hand. And that could be anything. In animal land, well, the vultures, they pick the roadkill. They pick the bones clean, especially in places where there's animals, like in the Africa and places like that. they come in, they're the cleanup crew. They pick the bones clean, and I don't think they eat the fur or the muscle. That's pretty much eaten up by the other animals, like the lions and stuff. So these guys aren't very good anyways. But this mask draws me in. The mask definitely draws me in. So does that mean somebody in your life or in somebody's life that you know is wearing a mask, that isn't telling the truth, that's hiding their behavior, that maybe has two people that they're dealing with, and the two people with these white flowers are innocent? They don't know what this guy's doing either, guy or girl, I shouldn't just call him a guy, that they don't know what he's doing. I mean, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder because of the mask. Makes you wonder what people will think up in their minds to do to corrupt a situation, to corrupt other people. Because when you do bad stuff, it's not just yourself that's doing it. I mean, you have other people that you're reeling in and corrupting them as well. Let's move on. After the upheaval happens, and just like the Tower in Tarot, this clears the way for the new beginning to come in, if you allow it. That means if you end up getting thrown out of the tower with somebody, or your life totally implodes, you do not go back to that person. Don't go back. If somebody has done something to you, do not go back to them. I am telling you from experience. I had a marriage. I got married in 2014. I almost forgot because I can't count. I ended up having to flee from him in 2017. Barely could get away from him. He controlled all the money. He controlled everything, including which way I was walking. He was a narcissist. He had drug and alcohol issues. He made very good money. He had all the money locked down. I still was able to get away from him by the help of my therapist. Point being, don't say that you can't get away because you don't have money. There are outlets. There's places that can help you. There's battered women's shelters, and they'll get you up on your feet. They have apartment living in most of them. You're not like staying in a barracks. But he was wearing a mask, and it only got worse. And even after I left, he was still coming back, because they hoover and they keep coming back and coming back. Don't let that be you. Get your kids out of there. My child ended up having to go to therapy after that, and that wasn't even his dad. That was my second husband. So he saw not too nice things. Just a word to the wise. Anyways, back on the story, you have upheaval here. So this guy, or the tower, is going to clean. You got a free clean slate. After you do that, we have the porcupine here, and I don't know how to say the flower, anemone or something, but it's a boundaries card. So you need to either see a therapist or go to a support group, or go to therapy and learn how to put new boundaries in place. You're never going to be able to move forward and stop picking the same type of men or women unless you understand what boundaries mean. And that's when you ask somebody or tell somebody nicely not to do something, like, hey, and this is really big, This is a really big example. Hey, please don't put your shoes there. Please put it on the throw rug next to the entryway. Well, every time you come in, those shoes are thrown right in front of the door, or thrown over in the kitchen or in the family room, or they didn't even take them off, they're wearing them in the house. You tell them again. At that point, you give them an ultimatum. Either I take your shoes and throw them away, or you're going to have to leave. Now, that was an extreme example, but I didn't understand boundaries until I had pretty intense therapy. I'm now able to put them in place, and I can tell you, after someone does something to me, which I had done not too long ago, I walked away from him and I didn't go back. He tried to contact me a few times after, and it just enraged me. So it's best not to even deal with a person like that. In saying all that, I'm going to pull this card down here. The fox and the ivy is going to give you adaptability. Once you learn boundaries. A lot of times when we don't know boundaries, that's what gets us in real trouble and gets us paired up with the wrong people we shouldn't be with. Toxicity 101. The boundaries will give you the adaptability you need in life to be able to move forward, get a job, get your house back in order, get your family in order. Ivy, you ever notice that when you're outside and you see that? It grows in vines and it grows plentiful. Like you'll see them underneath trees, you'll see them climbing up on the side of houses and barns. To me, that means you'll always have a rope you can climb, so to speak, to pull yourself out of any situation. You just grab onto the ivy and you climb right up it. That is your ticket. That is your ticket to get out, get yourself moving, get into a new position, school, whatever will help you improve your situation. Because when you do that, this is the chipmunk and the laurel. You're going to have success. Everybody wants success. And in order to do that, you're going to need to get yourself away from a bad person and a bad situation. He's hiding in the bushes. He's hiding in the foxglove. They're hiding in the shadows in real life. They're in your home, hiding on the computer, hiding on their phone, you know, having contact with other people, gambling, drugs, sex addiction, whatever they like to indulge in. And maybe it's all of them. But you got to get yourself out away from this person. Remember, he looks innocent in the face, but he's not. That's to throw off the person that he is supposed to love, which is you. You then have the vulture step in with his mask, the 2 white flowers, which means he could have you and somebody else, or that could be work in him, or drugs, and, you know, it's kind of the devil card and the tower combined in my book. But he causes upheaval. He causes utter chaos in your home. Anything you can imagine, he's causing it. But once it happens, the slate is clean. That is your chance to get away from this dude or the situation, whomever it is, causing the toxicity. Then you'll get success with the chipmunk and the laurel. Chipmunks are good because they have to provide themselves food for the whole winter. So you'll see them scurrying about in the, probably about late summer, all through the autumn, because they don't come out in the winter. So to get success, this will teach you how to either save money, find a better living situation, gather things, save them. After you do that, then the adaptability comes in. The fox, they're a hardy animal. I've seen them in domestic in the city, and I have seen them, out in the country. But just remember, the ivy, you can grab onto that, and it's going to pull you up. It's going to pull you up out of the situation you're stuck in, and then you'll get the adaptability to move forward. Lastly, you need the boundaries in order to keep this guy away. And if you see, they're looking away from each other, which is good. You don't want to be facing this dude. You faced him, you faced off in the beginning with this guy. This guy you don't want, because this means he's going up against your boundaries, which might happen. He might come back 2, 3, 4, 5 times. You might let him back until another one of these happen again, which you don't want, because every time that happens, that's universe teaching that you can't be doing what you're doing. And universe will keep getting you over and over and over again until you learn the lesson. And that could be something, God forbid, disastrous. So I had a small example with the shoes, but everybody on this channel knows that boundaries are so important. The best thing to do with toxic people, or a boyfriend or husband, wife, girlfriend that you have gotten rid of, not to talk to them. They'll hoover you back in. They call it hoovering after the vacuum company. And that's because they just come back and they try to suck you back into it, but you got to keep a boundary. The best one is to go no contact. Most people can't do it, but if you can, you're going to save your children and you mental anguish and mental health problems. You could end up getting anxiety, depression, a host of things. I'm just going to look to see what is in the deck here. We have the antelope for nourishment. Make sure you're getting good stuff to eat. Make meals. Try not to eat a lot of fast food and drink a lot of pop. You'll need your nutrients if any of this is going on. Keep good communication with your family, your children, therapist, school teacher, principal, boss, co-workers. Make sure you stay in good communication with people. Watch for deceit. Use your intuition. Build your confidence. Try to get involved in activities or new friends or volunteering. Be prepared. Have devotion to whatever your higher power is, if you have one at all. Or have devotion to your children or whatever, family members, friends. Keep protection. measures in place. You'll gain balance. Stagnation might set in if you don't practice balance. And we're going to end this with peace. Thank you for listening to my story today, and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll do another story. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great evening.